Hey kids, it's Mrs. Compton, and today we're going to start off with your Chapter 7 review. And we've got, for question number 1, a painter mixed 1/4 quart of red paint with 3/4 blue paint to make a purple paint. Okay, so you can see here that this is how much red paint the painter put in, and this is how much blue paint he put in. So 1/4 and then, of course, 3/4. Now you can see that on the top here, it's showing that it's equal to 1 whole. So we know it's equal to 1 whole quart because this was worth 1/4 of a quart, right? So when the question says how much purple paint did the painter make, the answer to that is 4/4, otherwise known as 1 whole, right? So he mixed 1 whole quart of purple paint. Number 2, Ivan biked 1 2/3 hours on Monday, 2 1/3 hours on Tuesday, and 2 2/3 hours on Wednesday. What is the total number of hours Ivan spent biking? Okay, so it's important to think about what's happening in this situation, what the question's asking us to do. It's asking us to put together the total for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that would be adding, right? So under here I have our 1 2/3 for Monday, 2 1/3 for Tuesday, and 2 2/3 for Wednesday. And some people might like to add the whole numbers first, or some people might add the fractions first, or there's another option. You might look at the fractions and see, is there a way to create a whole number and then add them on to the other whole numbers? I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm basically looking for friendly numbers. So I see right here I have 2/3 plus 1/3. If I put those together, I know I'm going to get 1 whole. So these together make a whole. So I can just throw those on in when I add the 1 plus the 2 plus the 2 plus another 1. So that would make 6 wholes plus 2/3 more. And that's my answer. So what is the total number of hours Ivan spent biking? 6 2/3 hours. So Ivan spent 6 2/3 hours biking. So you would write that in your workbook there. Number 3, Trisha had 4 1/8 yards of fabric to make curtains. When she finished, she had 2 3/8 yards of fabric left. She said she used 2 2/8 yards of fabric for the curtains. Do you agree? And make sure to explain. Okay, so we have to decide if we agree. So we have to see if she's done the work correctly, right? So she had a total of 4 1/8 yards of fabric to make curtains. And when she finished, she had 2 3/8 yards of fabric left. She said she used this much. Okay, so basically we can think about doing the total that she started with, 4 1/8, minus what she says she used, because using is the action of subtraction, right? So minus 2 2/8. And we can see if she gets this as her answer for what she has left. Now we have to see, is that what we get? 2 3/8. And we're going to find out if this is right. So I'm going to put a question mark there. Okay, so kids, you should be solving this too. So we're going to figure out if this is correct. So how would you solve 4 1/8 minus 2 2/8? There's plenty of ways to do it. Maybe you would take the 2/8 and turn it into a 1/8 and another 1/8. And you could do 4 1/8 minus 2 1/8. You could do that first, right? So if you have 4 1/8 minus 2 1/8, 4 minus 2 is 2, and 1/8 minus 1/8 is 0. So that would be 2. Now we still have to subtract another 1/8. We've taken off the 2 and 1 of the 8ths. Now we still have the other 1/8 from the 2/8, right? So 2 minus 1/8 would give us just 1 7/8 left. So I'm actually not getting the same number that she said she had left. She said she had 2 3/8 yards of fabric left, and I'm getting 1 7/8. So I'm thinking that cannot be true, because it sounds to me like we've got different answers here, right? So we have to really think about that. All right, so we had to think about that one. I had to put myself on pause, make sure I got that right. All right, so the answer would be no, we don't agree, because she would have had 1 7/8 yards of fabric left, and that could be our explanation. All right, number 4. Miguel's class went to the state fair. The fairground is divided into sections. Okay, so we can probably imagine that, right? Rides are in 6/10 of the fairground. Games are in 2/10 of the fairground. Farm exhibits are in 1/10 of the fairground. Part A, use the model. What fraction of the fairground is rides and games? Okay, so rides are 6/10 of the fairground and games are 2/10. So we're supposed to use the model. So right now we're doing the highlighter here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just making sure. All right, that's the rides, and then the games are 2/10. 1, 2. Okay, and all right. So it looks like use the model. What fraction of the fairgrounds is rides and games? Well, that would be 8/10. All right, so 8/10 is rides and games. It looks to me like they gave us some extra information because we didn't use the farm exhibit. So be really careful. Your answer should be 8/10. If you reduce it down, it would be equal to 4/5, because you could also put these in groups of 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could put them into 5 groups, and 4 of the groups would be shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. All right, so now we're on to part B. Okay, so from part A, we still know all of this is shaded for the rides and the games. Don't get crazy with your shading like I did. Woo! You try doing it on a computer. It's harder. All right, part B. How much greater is the part of the fairground with rides than with farm exhibits? Okay, so farm exhibits is 1/10. Rides is 6/10. Okay, so we're comparing the 6/10 and the 1/10. All right, so we could do, it says explain how the model could be used to show the answer. In fact, we could say 6/10, 2 for 6/10. This would be rides. Let's see if I can write on it. This would be rides. I'll just put R for rides. And then this would be, I'll put F for farm. How much greater is the part of the fairground with rides than with farm exhibits? Explain how the model could be used to find the answer. Okay, so you can see that we have 5 more tenths for the rides than we have for the farm exhibits. And we can prove it by doing 6/10 minus 1/10 is 5/10. That's one way to do it. Another way is to look at the picture, the model, and kind of compare, right? So you could shade in 6 sections to represent the sections for the rides, and then you could cross out 1 section to represent the farm exhibits, or you could show this, like this could be the farm exhibit there, and you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. All right, number 5. Rita is making chili. The recipe calls for 2 3/4 cups of tomatoes. How many cups of tomatoes written as a fraction greater than 1 are used in this recipe? All right, So we have to turn this into a fraction greater than 1, which means an improper fraction. So let's see. The whole number 2 is made up of, I'm going to use fourths because I have a 4 right here, so why not? It's made up of 4 fourths for one whole and another 4 fourths for another whole. So that's what two wholes would be worth. It would be 8 fourths, these two together. Okay, now I already had these 3 fourths, so I'm going to put those in there as well. So 4 plus 4 plus 3 equals 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be 11 fourths. All right, here we go. Number 6. Lamar's mom sells sports equipment online. She sold 9/10 of the sports equipment. Select a way 9/10 can be written as a sum of fractions. Mark all that apply. Okay, when I first looked at this, I was like, whoa, let's take a closer look. But then I thought to myself, all right, I just have to find a way that this number can be broken down. So let's check it out. 1/10 plus 1/10 is 2/10, plus another 10th is 3/10, plus another 10th is 4/10, plus 2 more tenths is 6/10. So that is not an answer. Then over here we've got 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1/10. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would make 9/10. This is an answer. 2, 4, 6, 8/10. Not an answer. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9/10. D is an answer because it adds up to 9/10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10/10. So E is not an answer. 2, 4, 6, and that would make 9/10. So F is an answer. So we fill that one in, and I'm going to erase this because I really don't even need that mark there. All right, so B, D, and F are answers. Number 7. All right, going on to the next page. Bella brought 8/10 gallon of water on a hiking trip. She drank 6/10 gallon of water. How much water is left? Okay, so she brought 8/10 gallon. All right. She drank 6/10. So the action of drinking is removing, right? So she's removed 6/10 of it. So 8/10 minus 6/10 is 2/10. 8/10 minus 6/10. She drank that. It's gone now. And that equals 2/10. Now 2/10 can be reduced because you can divide 2 by 2 and 10 by 2. So you could say the answer is 2/5, but you could also, 2/10, but you could also say the answer is 1/5. Same thing. They are equivalent. All right. Here we go. Number 8. In a survey, 6/10 of the students chose Saturday and 1/10 chose Monday as their favorite day of the week. Okay, who chooses Monday as their favorite day? Not me. What fraction shows the students who chose Saturday or Monday as their favorite day? All right, part A, shade the model to show your answer. All right, sweet. So we already know how to do that. We know that we can shade, and we can do 6/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/10 for Saturday, and then Sunday is, not Sunday, but Monday is 1/10. So we'd shade one more tenth in. And so our answer would be 7/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10 of the students chose Monday or Saturday. All right. 7/10. All right. We're on to part B now. That's why this looks so familiar. So I included the model here from last slide, but now we're going to read this part. Part B. How are the numerator and denominator of your answer related in the model? All right, so basically the numerator here is 7 because we have 7/10, right? So our numerator is 7 and our denominator is 10. So the numerator is 7. It's showing how many pieces are shaded. The numerator is 7, and is showing how many pieces are shaded. The denominator is 10, and that's the total number of pieces. There we go. Number 9, match the equation with the property used. All right, let's check this out. So we have the commutative property and the associative property. Commutative actually means things move. Okay, so I'm just going to write move. And the associative property means things are grouped differently together. All right, so let's check it out. 6/10 plus, in parentheses, 4/10 plus 3/10 is equal to, in parentheses, grouped differently, 6/10 plus 4/10, and then plus 3/10. So the fractions are the same on each side of the equal sign. However, they're grouped differently. So that makes this the associative property. All right, let's check out the next one. Okay, so don't forget, here's the equal sign, and we're just kind of comparing from one side to the other side. So samesies. Grouped 3 and 2 and 1/4 together. So 2 and 1/4, 2 and 1/4, 3, 3. However, the order was swapped. It was moved. So 3 went to the back and 2 went to the front. So that must be the commutative property. All right, here's the next one. I'm already seeing the grouping symbols. So 2 and 6/10, 2 and 6/10. Now I can see that they're grouped differently. Now the 2 and 6/10 is grouped with the 1/10 over here. So that means this one's the associative property. All right, and already I can see there's an order swap here. So 3 and 4/7 and 2 and 1/7 are grouped together. And they're also grouped together over here. So the grouping is the same, but they swapped the order of the 2 and 1/7 and the 3 and 4/7. So boom, commutative property. All right. Number 10. For numbers 10A through E, select yes or no to show if the sum or difference is correct. All right, we can do this. 2 8 plus 1/8 equals 3/8. That is a yes. 4/5 plus 1/5 equals 5/5. That's true because 4 plus 1 is 5, and we know when we're adding the fractions, we do not add the denominator, so that's a yes. 4/6 plus 1/6 is 5/12. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and 6 plus 6 is 12, but we do not add the denominators together. So this should not be a 12. It should be a 6, making it a no. All right, next up. Ooh, we got some subtraction. 6/12 minus 4/12 equals 2/12. Well, 6 minus 4 is 2, and the denominator stayed the same. So that is true. The answer would be yes. Now, they could have also written the fraction 1/6 and tried to pull something sneaky here, and that would have also been true because it's the reduced form of this. All right, 10E, 7/9 minus 2/9 equals 9/9. Well, 7 minus 2 equals 5, so that's an automatic no. It looks like they were trying to trick some of you guys by thinking about adding instead of subtracting. All right, number 11. Gina has 5 2/6 feet of silver ribbon and 2 4/6 of gold ribbon. How much more silver ribbon does Gina have than gold ribbon? All right. So 5 2/6 and we're comparing that to 2 and 4/6. Okay, so 5 and 2/6 and 2 and 4/6. Well, we know that we're going to have to find the difference, right? So we're comparing to find the difference here. So how do you want to do this? Like, you could figure out what the improper fraction is and do that subtraction. Do you want to do that? Or do you want to split this 4/6 into a 2/6 and another 2/6? It really doesn't matter how you do it. It just matters that you have a way to do it. Okay, I'm going to guess that a lot of you guys are probably going to split this into, or change this into an improper fraction. Or maybe you'll change the 5 into a 4, so like borrowing, and then moving 6/6 over here. So let me explain that a little bit more. I'm going to guess. I'm just guessing here. We're changing the 5 into a 4, and then we're going to just pull out a 6/6 because that makes 1, right? So that's still equal to 5. Now, I just want to take this 6/6 and add it to my 2/6 over here to make 8/6. That way, I don't really have to think about borrowing and all that stuff when I'm over here. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to change this into 4 and 8/6, and then minus 2 and 4/6, same thing. So it'll get me the same answer, but I won't have to worry about doing any kind of fancy borrowing. All right, so 4 minus 2 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. So we could say 2 and 4/6. Or if you want to reduce, you could say 2 and 2/3. There it is. So either one of those will work. I'm just going to write 2 and 4/6 so I don't spend your time and you're watching me write out 2 and 2/3. All right, we've got number 12. Jill is making a long cape. She needs 4 1/3 yards of blue fabric for the outside of the cape. She needs 3 2/3 yards of purple fabric for the lining of the cape. Part A. Jill incorrectly subtracted the two mixed numbers to find how much more blue fabric than purple fabric she should buy. Her work is shown below. Her work, and remember, her work is incorrect. So we have to figure out, so what did she do wrong? So it looks like she did 4 1/3 minus 3 2/3 equals 12/3. Okay, let's figure out if 4 1/3 is equal to 12/3. So let's see. 4 would be made up of 3/3, but you'd have to write it out 4 times, right? So 3/3, 6/3, 9/3, 12/3. That's how much just the 4 is worth. Now we still had this 1/3 to add on there. So this part is actually not true. This should be a 13. It should be 13/3. And I wonder if she did the same thing over here. The 3 is made up of 3/3, but 3 times. So 3/3, 6/3, 9/3. And it looks like she's made the same mistake again. She just put the 9/3. She forgot to add in this here. So it should be 11/3. So that is why her work is wrong. So we could say for the explanation, which I'm not going to type, you can do. Jill changed only the whole number part of the mixed number to thirds. She forgot to add in the fraction. All right, now we're on to part B. How much more blue fabric than purple fabric should Jill buy? Show your work. Well, since we already just found out that this would be a 13 and this would be an 11, let's use that. Why not? So 13/3 minus 11/3 equals 2/3. All right, that's it, right? I think so. Jill should buy 2/3 yard more blue fabric than purple fabric. Number 13. Are we on to a new page? We are. Russ has 2 jars of glue. One jar is 1/5 full. The other jar is 2/5 full. All right, so let's look this over. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5. Okay, so this one's the one with 1/5 full. And this one has 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one has 2/5 full. That's what it says over each one. Use the fractions to write an equation to find the amount of glue Russ has. All right, so we've got 1/5 plus the 2/5. And if you put 1/5 together with 2/5, it will equal 3/5. Right? Okay. Sweet. Gertie. Blast from the past for that name. Gertie ran 3/4 miles during physical education class. Sarah ran 2/4 mile during the same class. How much farther did Gertie run than Sarah? Shade the model to show your answer. All right, so Gertie ran 3/4 of a mile, so she ran this much. So let's go ahead and fill that in. So Gertie went 3/4 of a mile. All right. Now, Sarah ran 2/4 of a mile, right, during the same class. So we're kind of comparing them, but we can actually use like that X symbol to show like, okay, so this was also run by Sarah. So she ran 2/4. So Gertie ran this much farther. So Gertie ran 1/4 mile farther than Sarah. I could also have put my X over here. It doesn't really matter. So if you're thinking about length and running like a yard or a track, it might make more sense to your brain to lay it out this way and show that Gertie kept running while Sarah was done right here at her own personal finish line. Number 15. Teresa planted marigolds in 2/8 of her garden and petunias in 3/8 of her garden. What fraction of the garden has marigolds and petunias? Okay, so it looks like we're just putting these guys together. 2/8 plus 3/8. So 2/8 plus 3/8. Now, I know we add the numerators, but do we add the denominators? What do you think? Yay or nay? The answer to that is nay. Do not add the denominators together. So the eighths still represent 8 pieces, right? So we don't add the number of pieces together. All right, so Teresa's garden has 5/8 marigolds and petunias. Number 16. Whoa, there's a lot of dots here. Draw a line to show the mixed number and fraction that have the same value. Oh, okay. So it looks like we're kind of doing one of these. We're looking at this row up top and trying to find its match on the bottom. All right, so it got a little crazy for my eyes for a second. So let's just make sure we know what we're looking for. All right, so 3 2/7. 3 would be made up of 7/7, 7/7, 7/7. So 7, 14, 21 sevenths plus these 2 sevenths. So 21, 22, 23 sevenths, right? So I'm looking here and I'm thinking, I don't have a match there. So that, I'm not drawing a line for anything. So now I'm thinking, all right, that one doesn't have a match. So let's check and see if this one has a match. 4 5/8. All right, so that would be made up of 8/8, 8/8, 8/8, 8/8. Okay, so 8, 16, 24. 32/8 would be the 4. And 32 plus 5 is 37. So this one would be worth 37/8. So this one actually gets a match. Okay. Now it does say show the mixed number and fraction that have the same value. So I think this is going to be my only pair, but I'm going to just double check over here. The 2 would be worth 10/5 because it's made up of a 5/5 and a 5/5 plus 3 more fifths. That's 13/5. Well, none of those work. So then over here, this would be 16/8 plus 3 more eighths. So that's 19/8, no match. So this is it, just those two. Number 17, each day, Tally's baby sister eats 1/4 cup of rice cereal in the morning and 1/4 cup of rice cereal in the afternoon. Okay? So then, let's see. It will take Tally's sister either 2, 3, or 4 days to eat 2 cups of rice cereal. Okay, so in the morning, she eats a 1/4 cup. In the afternoon, she eats a 1/4 of a cup. So for one day, she eats 2/4 of a cup. And I'm going to type in that's per day. Okay. Now, I know that 2/4 is also equal to a half. So I'm just going to put 1/2 there as well. All right. So we want to know how long it's going to take her to eat 2 cups of rice cereal. Well, if this is 1 cup and we split it into half and half, there we go, half, half. And then we have a second cup because that's what our story said right here, 2 cups. Half, half. Then we can see it would take 1, 2, 3, 4 days to eat all 2 cups. Okay, because each one of these is worth a day. All right, number 18. 3 girls are selling cases of popcorn to earn money for a band trip. In week 1, Emily sold 2 3/4 cases, Brenda sold 4 1/4 cases, and Shannon sold 3 1/2 cases. Okay, so we know the girls sold different number of cases. Part A, how many cases of popcorn have the girls sold in all? Explain how you found your answer. Okay, so we're looking to solve the in all, how many has Emily, Brenda, and Shannon sold all together? So it sounds like we're doing 2 3/4 plus 4 1/4. Already I can see I can make a whole number with the 3/4 and the 1/4. So that's good. And then plus 3 1/2. All right. So I'm going to put, not crayon, I don't want the crayon, I want the highlighter. I'm going to put the 3/4 and the 1/4 together to make a 1. So this is a 1 here. And then I'm going to add the other whole numbers together first. So 2 plus 1 plus 4 is 7. Plus 3 makes 10. And then all I had was this 1 fraction left, 1/2. Okay, and then explain how you found your answer. So then you would just explain what you did. So if I were to explain how I found my answer, I would say I made a 1 by adding the 3/4 and the 1/4, and I added the other whole numbers together, and then I finally added the fraction. All right, here's the part B. The girls must sell a total of 35 cases in order to have enough money for the trip. Suppose they sell the same amount in 2 weeks or in week 2 and week 3 of the sale as in week 1. Will the girls have sold enough cases of popcorn to go on the trip? Explain. All right, so let's see. Back to week 1 here. So this is week 1, going back to the last question. They sold 10 1/2 cases. So I'm going to type that there. Week 1 equals 10 1/2 cases. My 1/2 looks kind of weird, but that's just because I typed it, right? Okay, so the girls must sell a total of 35 cases. Okay, suppose they sell the same amount in week 2 and week 3. Okay, as they did in week 1. So we're doing 10.5 plus another 10.5 plus another 10.5. And we're going to see if when we add them all up, if that will equal 35 cases. Okay, so 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1.5. So, oh man, they have not sold enough yet because they've only sold 31.5 cases. So bummer, but it looks like they're getting close, so I'm sure they'll probably be able to go if they put in their hard work, right? So will the girls have sold enough cases of popcorn to go on the trip? The answer to that is N-O, no. And then explain. They've only sold 31.5 cases, and they need to sell 35. All right, on to the next, number 19. Henry ate 3/8 of a sandwich. Keith ate 4/8 of the same sandwich. How much more of the sandwich did Keith eat than Henry? So Keith ate 4/8. So let's see if each of these is worth an eighth. I'm just going to put it in one section here. So 1/8. So this would be Keith, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Henry only ate 3/8. So it says, how much more of the sandwich did Keith eat than Henry? This would be our answer right here. He ate 1/8 more, right? So that would be what you would put in the box right there. He ate 1/8 of a sandwich more. For numbers 20A through 20D, choose true or false for each sentence. Okay, now we have to check this out. Ooh, this is just too much on my eyes, so I'm going to cover. If that happens to you, make sure you cover with like a piece of paper or something. 1 4/9 plus 2 6/9 is equal to 4 1/9. Okay, so 1 plus 2 is 3. 4/9 plus 6/9 is 10/9. So, and I know that 10/9 is the same as 1 1/9. So that means, since this one is worth 1 1/9, and I already had 3, 3 plus 1 1/9 is 4 1/9. So that makes this one true. 3 5/6 plus 2 3/6. All right. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5/6 plus 3/6 is 8/6. So this is an automatic no because we know the whole number was correct, 5, but then this should be an 8/6. So that makes it false. 4 5/8 minus 2 4/8. Okay, so 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 4 is not 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. So that's automatically a false. All right. 5 5/8 minus 3 2/8. Well, 5 minus 3 is 2. And 5 minus 2 is 3. And the denominator stayed the same, so this one must be true. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting, the denominators are keeping the same value and they're staying the same unless we have to find a common denominator, which we're not practicing right now. All right, that'll be next year in 5th grade. Okay, number 21. Is this our last one? I think it is. So Justin lives 4 3/5 miles from his grandfather's house. Write the mixed number as a fraction greater than 1. Okay, so again, to turn this into a fraction greater than 1, we could just use whatever the denominator is here. So if this is a 5, I'm choosing a 5. So I'm going to do 5/5. That's worth 1. I need another 5/5. That's worth 2. and then another 5/5 and another 5/5. Let's see if yeah, there we go. I just copy paste. That would give me 4, the whole number 4. So 5, 10, 15, 20 fifths. So this is 20 fifths plus the 3 fifths that we already had would make 23 fifths. And there you have it. I think we're done, you guys. All right, make sure you study hard. Make sure you know what the question's asking you. Remember to stop and visualize what the story is actually telling you. All right, kids, I'll see you next time. Bye.